you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you are behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you are behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to
Hello, hello. Hey, everyone. Uh, Hello. Hey, people, can you just quickly respond with a quick hello, quick hi if you are able to watch me, if you're able to, view my screen, if you're able to view everything pretty much clear. I'll just open this screen as well. Just give a quick response as a hi. Yeah, just give a quick response as you're able to see me. Yep, all good, all clear. That's cool. Well, okay, I don't know. I'm just checking on my own channel using it, like just trying to attend the live with some different mobile device so that I can keep a check. Okay, now it refreshed. Now I'm able to see this. Okay, 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 cool, cool. Perfect. So guys, let's start by quickly, you can just drop in a quick like. I see that there are, I think, five people today on the live session that we have. Can you just quickly give a thumbs up, give a quick like to the stream? I'll just move this window to my other screen. Okay, cool. Okay. Uh, okay, we have started getting the interaction here. Okay, guys, so I'll just quickly maybe start with the context and then I'll move ahead, right? So I think you guys yeah, yeah, we'll increase everything. We should be able to take it full screen. Don't worry about it, Nagashri. So, guys, I think you have been patiently waiting for me to come live, and sorry for not coming up live because, last live I did share that there have been like, multiple times that I was traveling like last week, yeah, I should say last week because we are on Friday yet. So I was not able to actually, focus a lot on my diet and good food and everything. And, it turned out to be really bad. My health was impacted. So I was not able to, do these live sessions. Even today, I'm not feeling extremely well, but I decided that, okay, let's sort of, continue with this. This might, you guys might be waiting for it. So why not just, come up and, start explaining few of the important concepts and then maybe we will deep dive into it, right? So what I'm expecting here is, maybe we'll have this live session for 45 minutes or an hour. I'll just keep it very short. I'll keep it very precise so that it's the most fruitful use of your time as well, right? So quickly give me a thumbs up if you're okay with this. Should we start the session now? By the way, I have been seeing a lot of good attempts onto the homework that have been in the place. So kudos to everyone who is attempting this. And trust me, if you are doing this homework, if you're doing these activities, minor activities that we are kind of, giving you as homework towards the end of the session, these are going to shape you as a product designer or maybe a UI UX designer or whatever your aspiration is, right? So make sure that you're attempting this, and trust me, if you're not enjoying these activities, it's a very strong sign that you should not be pursuing UI UX design or product design as your career, because these activities are exactly what you folks are going to do when you join an organization or maybe you start doing freelancing or stuff, right? So I'll just encourage everyone to, whoever has not attempted yet, just visit our lecture 2, live lecture 2. Towards the end, there is a homework that, you can spend maybe 10 minutes on it. Just visit the last 10 minutes and you will realize that there is a small piece of activity that we have given focusing on, right? So last lecture, I did tell you that we are going to look at design thinking or maybe the process, the frameworks out there, and I specifically took the name of this double diamond design framework, right? So in today's lecture we are going to focus completely on how once you have a problem statement, how do you take it to execution? Is everyone okay? Is everyone excited about it? Can you all give me a quick thumbs up if you are excited? In today's lecture, we are going to focus on taking a problem statement and getting it completely to, like, passing it through a framework and then changing the problem statement to a deliverable, changing the problem statement into a desired solution that our users might expect, right? Just write in design thinking, just write the word design thinking if you're excited to learn about this process, this framework out there. Acha, you guys might expect that I turn off my camera maybe after a few seconds or maybe, after 2, 3 minutes out there. So just bear with me. This is only and only because I'm like, I just want to take like a 1 second, 1 minute break or something like that, right? So, everyone, are you excited about it? Cool. So we have Rachna, we have Komal, we have Nagashri, we have a lot of people excited about this thing. Okay, cool. So now just take a minute and just think about a time when you were actually solving a problem, right? When you actually, this can be any problem statement, right? This is not just in your job or just in your maybe a freelance project. This can be any problem statement that you were trying to solve as a designer. And I want you to just reflect on the approach that you had during that time of that particular time. What is the approach that you took? You can just take a minute, think about it, and write the flow quickly. It can be, a raw flow. You don't have to explain everything. Just keep it very short and precise, and just, explain that thing to me. The goal here is to first we are going to reflect on the current thinking, the current process that you're following, and then we will get into the real world problem, like how exactly the industry standards, what exactly are the industry standards, how we sort of get into the real world problem thinking, like real world problem solving. I'll just take a minute's pause and I'll give you that time to write about it. Okay, so I think we have started gathering some responses out here. So first is I think Rachna, she is mentioning that first think or research onto the user requirements. We have Nagashri, problem context root, context, which is basically understanding the root cause of the problem. Okay, do we have anyone via research and via some insights? Okay, Komal is like research, define, ideate, design, and then we go for testing. Okay, cool. So now, guys, let me first get into the basics, right? We'll reflect on these. Now, let me take you towards the real world situation. So first, let's understand about what design thinking actually is, right? So design thinking is basically nothing but more like a process, right? In terms of definition, it's a human-centered, non-linear, iterative process, right? Iterative basically means that it's not a linear flow. It's not that, okay, step one, step two, and then step three. It can be like step one, step two, you again come back to step one, you again come back to, you go to step three, and then you reflect back on step two. So it's more like a non-linear process that you use for solving like complex problems, wherein the goal is to understand the user needs. You are going to challenge any sort of assumptions that you make. Now, if you're not able to understand why this challenging assumptions is sort of written out here, don't worry about it. I'll be speaking about it in the next 5 minutes itself. And then you are going to sort of create innovative solutions through prototyping and then, sort of testing as well. So, whenever we speak about design thinking, right? So, there are five key phases. Now, you might have heard that, whenever like you are watching a UI UX interview or a product design interview, there is one question that the hiring manager or the panelist will ask you, and this is like a compulsory question that is going to be there in any of the interviews that you're going to give if you're chasing a product design, UI, UX design sort of a job out there. The question is, can you explain what is your design process and what's your approach of solving any particular problem statement? Now, once you understand today's lecture, answering this question is going to be a piece of cake for you. It's going to be very easy because this is more like a story that you'll remember for the rest of your life. So, in design thinking, there are five key phases, right? And what are these five key phases? I think we have Komal, who has sort of answered this already, but I would just want to reflect on it. What are these five key phases out there? So first is obviously you're going to emphasize, right? You are going to emphasize with the end user. Now, what emphasize actually means here is that you are going to be speaking with the end user. You're going to think from his or her shoes. You are going to understand what sort of problem is coming to the user at what particular phase of the journey. You simply cannot assume, okay, this is what maybe the user is facing a problem into. You have to sort of go on to Zoom calls. You have to sort of do some sort of study. This can be a direct contact or this can be an indirect contact by launching certain survey forms or anything. But you have to empathize with the end user, right? Your customer out there. Next is once you have empathized, right? Once you have spoken with the customers out there, the next thing that you are going to do is going to be defining what is the problem statement out here, right? Now, what this define is like what is the term define here actually means is that there can be XYZ reasons that the customer or the end user is facing a problem. But as a designer, you have to prioritize what sort of actions or what sort of problem you're going to pick up and solve. You cannot build a world class product in one single day, in one single sprint, in one single cycle of the product development. You have to be cautiously picking up the highest priority of the items and then focus on solving those, right? So you'll realize that it's very important that you define the problem statement that you're going to solve. Is everyone clear till this point in time? Just drop a quick thumbs up and I'll just proceed here anyways, right? Next, once the problem statement is defined, right? And everything is good in place, you go to ideate as a stage. Now, what ideate actually means here is that you basically invest time in exploring the potential solutions out there. The potential solutions can be anything, right? These can be as vague as you investing your time into getting into your fantasy world and thinking about any particular problem, any particular solution, that this is the way that the problem statement is going to get solved, right? I'll take an example of it. Just spare with me unless you get the terminologies out here. I'll be taking a practical example of how we are going to solve this out. Now, after your ideation is done, let's say there is maybe like after having multiple conversations with your PMs, with senior stakeholders, with any XYZ stakeholders that you have decided that okay, this is the solution that I'm gonna build. So next thing that you're gonna do is going to be building a prototype of it, right? And now this prototype is can be like a high fidelity, sorry, it can be like a low fidelity one, right? And then it can be a high fidelity one. Now, right? Now, once you have built, like in the corporate world or in the real world scenario, you never ever build a high fidelity immediately, right? You will first build a low fidelity model. Now, the difference between high fidelity and low fidelity, right? So, low fidelity is basically a sort of sketch, which is going to be like as simple as someone, maybe I'll just go with this. You have a screen, you will just place that okay, this is how you will represent a text, this is how you will represent an image, this is how maybe you will say that this is a button. So here there is no actual text, right? And there is no real images. Or even you can say that the image size is like varying. It cannot be like exactly 500 pixel by 900 pixel, nothing like that. It is just like a raw sketch. There is no text, there is nothing. It's more like a skeleton that, okay, this is where, the things are going to be placed. High fidelity, whereas, focuses on to the accuracy of the things. So this is gonna be like, maybe it will be a button. This is gonna be a nav bar. This is gonna be my burger icon for opening the user view, right? So these are gonna be like this high fidelity model is basically, or high fidelity design is basically you getting into the basic without colors. This is like more, I usually like to call it like a grayscale thing, without colors, without animation. This is more like, uh, sort of sketch which is going to give you a real world feel if I remove and eliminate all the colors out there. Is this thing okay for you? Are you guys able to understand the difference between high fidelity and low fidelity? Just give a quick thumbs up so that I get to understand you are following me through this session, right? Now, once let's say the prototyping is done, right? Now, what we are going to do is we are going to do testing out there, right? Now, the reason that I introduced you to low fidelity and high fidelity here is that the prototyping is usually like once the low fidelity is done, the users will get into the product team, the design team is going to go into the testing mode. And this testing usually is carried out with internal testers. So there can be internal testing team, or there can be beta users that you want to define, right? I don't want to get into these terms yet. When the time will come, I'll speak about what are alpha users, what are beta users and stuff, but pretty easy concept. You can just Google about it. What are beta users and what are alpha users? You can just read through it. It's just a one-liner definition. So the concept that I was trying to explain here is once low fidelity is done, you pass on to the testing mode. Once, let's say, the testing is approved, you get a green symbol from them. You come back, you build the high fidelity. You again go back to testing, and you keep on doing this high fidelity testing again and again until the desired outcome is something that you feel the company has been able to achieve. Is this particular way, like this iterative process, right? This is why I focused iterative as a word out here. This is the reason that the word iterative has been used, right? So now you understand that there is a process model that this is what I called it, right? This is IDIPT. I usually call it as IDIPT. IDIPT is nothing but, emphasize, define, ideate, prototype, and testing. In prototype, there is like high fidelity, low fidelity, then testing, then become high fidelity and testing. And this cycle will keep on going unless and until the testing is finally approved for the higher fidelity model. Is everyone aligned? Is everyone able to understand the design thinking process now in a much easier way now? Just give a quick thumbs up. Just maybe you can write understood so that I get to understand that you're following me through this. Okay, I don't know, like my YouTube here shows that the dashboard here is telling me that there is some sort of a bitrate problem that my internet is throwing. Like I don't know what that is, but I hope you're able to clearly hear out my voice. You're able to clearly view my screen and stuff. I hope that like there is no glitch in terms of the learning is what I want to see here. Okay, perfect. I think I have got good thumbs up out here, right? So I think Komal liked the adept part, right? This is just, I think I'll be introducing you to a lot of terms like this in future because this is how I learn things. This sort of just eases out my memory load, how I want to remember things, right? Cool. So now moving to, how exactly we are going to learn this with a real problem statement, right? Now I want to give you a problem statement, which is like as simple as, uh, let me, like I have written it down. Let me maybe take this up for you, right? I'll solve this with you on the screen. So we'll take the problem statement as the analytics dashboard. Okay, everyone, please make sure that you're capturing your notebook, pen, and paper. And whatever I'm going to write from this particular minute of the live session, you're going to write it along the side that I'm going to share with you so that you are exactly able to solve it as a product designer in the real world problem situation, right? So we have the analytics dashboard, and it shows that analytics dashboard shows that the users are dropping at a certain stage while signing up for our services, right? So the analytics, like once you work in a real world problem situation, right, you will get problem statements like this, right? So the analytics dashboard is showing that the users are dropping at a certain stage while signing up for our services, right? Now, what you are going to do here is, I think I'm not able to recall the name. I think it was okay, we have okay. So Nagarjuna and Rachna, I think both of them told that user research is something that we are going to work on, right? So definitely this is something that we are going to start on, right? We are going to do some research about how this problem statement is coming. Now, trust me when I say this, I have seen lot of designers turn into problem solvers. Immediately they get a problem statement, they'll be like, okay, let me just do this, and the problem is solved, and I'm going to get into it. And this is the core reason that many of you will start facing rejections, because the hiring manager is not interested in how what, like how fast you solve the problem. Rather, they are interested in understanding what is the approach that you are going to take to solve a particular problem statement out there, right? So now what I want you to think about is, like when I say user research, right? So there are going to be two major ways you're going to conduct your research. Can anyone quickly take a guess of what these two methods or two ways of doing research is? Can anyone quickly take a stab at it? Okay, so we have the first guess coming from Nagarshri, which is absolutely correct, which is going to be the qualitative one. And next, we are going to go for a quantitative one, right? But before coming into this particular side, we are going to have two major branches, which is like primary research. This is the first breakdown that you have to remember. Then next comes is secondary research. Okay. Now, once you understand that this is going to be the primary research and this is going to be the secondary research, let me maybe write it again, right? So qualitative and quantitative will come, but the first thing that you have to split your user research is going to be into, oh my God. So this is going to be primary, and then we have secondary. Now, primary research is basically more like you speaking with the users, or there is certain way that you're engaging with the users. This can be with direct Zoom interactions, or this can be maybe with Google Forms or any sort of XYZ forms that you can, use to interact with the users. While secondary research is more like, reading through research papers, you're actually not sort of engaging with the users directly, but this is more like, you sort of studying what the research has already been conducted by maybe different sort of scientists or research teams out there, and you are taking it for your references out there, right? So this is, how you can split the primary and the secondary research out there. Now, whenever you're doing the primary research or whenever you're doing secondary research, there is going to be a split. Like maybe I can just say, be it primary or be it secondary, you are going to have qualitative and then you're going to have quantitative. I think we had Nagashri who did mention about the qualitative and quantitative one. Now, I'll maybe spend a minute on explaining you what exactly qualitative is and what exactly quantitative is, right? So, qualitative will always focus on why of the situation. So, in our case, the question that we are going to ask is, why did the users start dropping at a certain stage? We'll try to answer, we'll try to figure out the answer for this why, right? Next thing that we are going to do here is we are going to focus on the quantitative side of the world. We will ask questions like, what percentage of users are impacted? Is it like out of every 500 people who visit, is it like 400? Is it like 30%? Is it like 45%? So this number is going to tell us the severity of, the problem statement that we are going to address out here. Is everyone able to follow with the statement that I have been able to say here, which is, once you start doing research, it's primary, secondary. Once you start going into primary or secondary, whatever it is, you are going to ask questions around the qualitative part of it and quantitative part of it, right? So this is going to be your first approach of looking at the problem statement. Is this aligned with everyone? Just give a quick thumbs up on this and then I'll move ahead. Till then, let me expand this thing because I feel we might need some. Okay, cool. We have started getting thumbs up out here, so that's a good part. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to speak about is that, let's say this is our problem statement, right? Now, what is going to be our research process? Is I think everyone is willing to hear that. What exactly is the research process we are going to follow out here, right? The first is, okay, we have Komal. Komal is asking, can you please repeat the quantitative part, right? So quantitative, Komal, is basically, what sort of percentage of the users are getting impacted. You try to give a percentage, you try to give a number, a numerical value, like a quantity, right? For example, when you go in a grocery shop, you ask for like 1 kg of maybe rice out there. Now, what kind of rice, what quality of rice, that's like a qualitative aspect of it. But when you say 50 grams, sorry, not 50 grams, I should say 1 kg of rice or maybe 500 grams of rice, that's basically quantitative. You're giving a numerical value to it. In our problem statement, we are going to ask for why exactly the users are dropping. That's the qualitative side of it, right? We'll figure out the why here. Like I'll be speaking about it in the next 2 3 minutes. When you ask about what percentage of users are getting impacted, that's wherein you are asking the quantitative questions to the maybe users or maybe the person who is sort of asked you this question, right? So, or you can be the one who defined this problem statement. So you will try to see the dashboard, you'll try to see how many users visited your sign up page. Is it like 500 people in the last 1 hour? How many of them sort of faced this problem? Was it like 45% of the users directly dropped off at the sign up page? So this is how you're going to get into the quantitative world of it. Just give a thumbs up if you're able to understand this now. Okay, cool. So we have received a response. Got it. Thank you. Cool. So now I was going to speak about how are we going to define our research process, right? Obviously, there is going to be certain framework, certain methodology of, how the research needs to be conducted. So I usually like to break it down into seven major steps, right? Now, what are these seven steps? First thing that you're going to do, we start researching based onto the digital way and one user or team member discussion, which is true. So now I was talking about the research process, right? The first step is going to be you identifying the problem statement, right? Identify the problem statement. Now, the problem statement that I gave you, you have already identified it. You already know that this is the problem statement. My problem statement is that the users are sort of dropping off at a certain stage when the sign up flow occurs, right? This is the problem statement that we have identified. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to build, maybe I should just take this up, build a hypothesis. Right now, just remember the statement that I gave you out here, right? You are going to challenge assumptions. These assumptions are nothing but the hypothesis, right? That we are going to build out here. Everything is interlinked. I'll walk you through those routes. So don't worry about it. So we're going to build a hypothesis. Now, these hypotheses, so hypothesis is nothing but more like an assumption. It's more like, you just trying to define or, sort of guess that okay, maybe this is the reason that this particular thing is happening. So there can be n number of hypotheses. There can be 50 hypotheses that I can build out here. There can be maybe five hypotheses that I can write here, right? This completely depends upon maybe designer to designer how you want to approach this. And there can be a chance that when we build hypothesis, maybe I write five hypotheses and at the end maybe none of them work out. So that's also a possibility. But we have to sort of go into this phase wherein we are sort of building hypothesis about it. So everyone give me a quick thumbs up if you're able to understand that you identify a problem statement, then you build a hypothesis. Is everyone able to relate to the definition out there that I gave you? Cool. So I think we have been getting responses here. So now when we are building hypothesis, right? What is the first hypothesis that we are going to build here? This can be as simple as that there is some sort of technical glitch, right? As designers, we always love to you know uh, send some outcome or some variable to the engineers out there. We want to first see if there is a technical glitch on the platform, or maybe add particular button, or maybe a form link or something like that. There needs to be some sort of a technical glitch, right? Maybe the other hypothesis that I can think about is uh, the form that there is a sign up form. There will be a sign up form with some username and XYZ fields. The users having hard time to understand the form context, right? It can be a possibility, right? Maybe the language that is used, the wordings that are used, the maybe the labels that are used, they are not quite user friendly, and the users are sort of facing problem in understanding what is the context out there. This can be one of the things, right? Now, next thing that we are going to maybe next hypothesis that I can build here is that the journey is sort of broken, right? Now, when I say journey is broken, it can be like, the user does tap on sign up, and there is a 404 page that is page not found or anything, right? There can be any technical glitch that is sort of coming up here. So it sort of does come under the umbrella of technical glitch, but I just want to kind of keep it separate for now. Next, maybe there can be a reason that the form is ugly. The form itself is like not designed in a intuitive way. Is everyone aligned with this, that sometimes the form is like pretty ugly and we really do not want to sign up? We start getting trust issues that, okay, is this going to solve the desire that I have? If you remember in my lecture one, I did tell you that whenever the user comes on your platform, comes on your application, there is certain desire that the user has in mind, and he wants to achieve that desire in the fastest way possible. So if the design is not intuitive, if maybe like I think Rachna is calling out that due to lots of advertisements and all, maybe we can consider this, but let's suppose that this is a professional application and there is like the company really does not depend on maybe AdSense or sort of ad revenue. So we will maybe just is hypothesis done based on our own perspective? Yes, negotiate is done on our own perspective. Also, what we try to do, because see, the reason that we do it on our own perspective, it's not just me but the internal team is what I can say, right? So because we have already met the user, like empathize is something that we have already done. We know that this is what the problem is. Now we are just trying to build an hypothesis that okay, this might be the reason, this might be the reason that the problem statement is coming, right? So now I think you might be able to realize that once, let's say, the form is ugly, maybe I think Komal is saying that the color is red for the call to action, or maybe like something like that, right? There can be XYZ reasons, but the form is not intuitive enough. Or the last thing is that there is a lot of information overload, right? Now, what do I mean by information overload? Suppose that the labels are out there and there is like a lot of information in sign up forms. There can be, like, say, multiple text fields out there which are in the form, which is making it difficult for the users to understand it, right? And maybe I'll just maybe keep it for now that if it this 1 2 3 4 5, okay, so I've written like 5 hypotheses. So maybe you can just go ahead and write more 2 3 hypotheses. This is sort of a homework for you, that this is what you can do, right? Just go ahead and write multiple hypotheses that you think are sort of needed in uh, solving this problem statement, right? So once, let's say, the hypothesis is sort of in shape, the next thing that we are going to do here is, let me just slide thing. Okay, uh, give me a second, guys. I'm just moving my touchpad here. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do here is we are going to sort of, once the hypothesis is built, we are going to frame or frame out, or we are going to define or formulate, right? We are going to, can we take help of AI? Definitely, Komal, you can take help of AI, but my only suggestion here is that once you take help from AI, just do not completely be dependent on it and try to resist the use of AI in early days, because then once you start depending upon AI for formulating such hypotheses, this is going to be difficult for you in the upcoming time when you attend the interviews, or maybe when you're sitting in a forum of like 10 designers who are solving a problem statement, right? Because then you cannot say, hey, you know what, wait, I'm going to do some AI work and I'll get back to you with the hypothesis. So you have to be very much focused. You have to take your time. You have to invest time in this hard thinking cycle of what sort of hypothesis you're going to write out there, right? So we are going to frame out our research plan, right? So what we are going to do here is that first, definitely, I think I should take this down. Okay, just give a thumbs up if you're able to, see this thing, if you're able to see my screen, like the font at least, right? The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to formulate a research plan. Now, what exactly is research plan? This research plan can be as simple as, you defining what sort of action I'm going to take for solving this particular problem statement. For example, we did realize that solving, like, sort of, maybe there is some sort of technical glitch, right? So how are we going to solve for a technical glitch? The answer is going to be you go for a usability testing. You can just raise this sort of ticket, or maybe raise this sort of problem in your internal team, or maybe give it to your testing team and tell them that we want to conduct the end-to-end usability testing so that we get to understand whether there is a technical glitch or not, right? Or we can also go for a technical debugging session, right? So there can be multiple people. You just pick up like five, six people in your team and you sit together and you do a debugging session, right? This is basically engineers, who do it. So I think Rachna is calling out that call the engineer. That's absolutely true. So I think usability testing is sort of a thing that I would prefer that we do for these four aspects, and I'll keep the technical debugging session for this particular, that is sorting the technical glitch, right? Because usability testing is more like, you also get in touch with your external customers out there. You also speak with a lot of people who are using your product, and you sort of, go for it. Once, let's say, you have formulated, once you have strategized that, okay, this is what I'm going to do for solving, this is, what I'm going to do for solving this particular problem statement. I think Komal is asking a question. uh, is it based on hypothesis? Exactly, this is everything based on hypothesis. We are not breaking the flow. So for anyone who is sort of confused, give me a second, guys. I'll just take a pause. Okay, so I think Komal was saying that for Komal is asking whether this is based on hypothesis. So let me maybe brief it down again in like next 30 seconds for anyone who might be confused out here, right? So guys, we are actually doing a research process, right? Research process is where we identified the problem statement. We actually built out a hypothesis. This can be like n number of hypotheses that you build. Now, once you have written down those hypotheses, you basically have to strategize, right? This is like imaginary assumptions that you have taken. So you have to figure out a way that you are going to validate these assumptions. The way you validate these assumptions are going to be different for our case. What I did was, usability testing is what I gave to these four areas, which is, users having hard time to understand form content. There is some journey which is broken. The reason that I gave usability testing to these four aspects was because usability testing is more like, you also speak with external customers of yours. So I think for testing these four areas, it's going to be a good practice or a good thing to speak with the external stakeholders. That's the reason took usability testing as the choice for these four areas. Whereas I really do not need to speak with customers, or I really do not want to give my customers an experience wherein, I'm going ahead and sort of, troubling them to figure out if it's a technical glitch. I can do it in a technical debugging session. I can sit with few engineers and solve for it. Now, once, let's say, you have strategized, okay, this is what I'm going to do, you have to do the execution of it, right? You have to bring this research plan, whatever you have formulated, right? You have to bring it in action, right? Now, once you do the execution part, what is the outcome? There is going to be certain observation. There is going to be certain outcome. There is going to be certain analysis that you have done. Is everyone able to understand till this point? Now, there is certain observation, certain analysis which you have in place. Now, this is where the magic happens, right? Once you have the analysis and the outcomes in place, you will be drawing conclusions out of it, right? There can be multiple observations and outcomes. You will be drawing a conclusion out of it. Now, to relate the problem, right? What, let's say, to relate to the problem statement that we were working on, what we understood after doing the usability testing is that that when we were doing the execution, we spoke with the customers, we did technical debugging. So in technical debugging, the answer was no, the platform doesn't have any technical glitch, so we striked off our first hypothesis. The second thing that we did was users are having hard time to understand the form context. So user said, no, I'm able to understand everything. And we had a high vote of confidence from the users that they are able to understand everything. The next hypothesis, the journey is broken. So I spoke with the users and I felt that, no one was actually getting redirected to error page or form not found or, page not found sort of errors. So striking this off again. Well, the form was also not ugly. Users did rate that the design was like a 4 on 5. So I think we have done a good job in designing the form. Now, was the information overload? The user said no. I was able to sign up. I was able to fill the details out there pretty easily. So now, if you see that my all five hypotheses that I built have been striked off. So you might be thinking that do I need to again go back to building a hypothesis stage? And do I need to sort of go back and speak with, maybe do I need to figure out something new here? So the answer is no. Now, what you will understand here is that I think this will answer Komal your question as well. Did we interact with users in the execution stage? So the answer is yes, we did speak. Because how are you going to conduct usability testing without speaking with the users, right? The backbone of usability testing is like our users, right? So you will speak with them. That's how you actually understood, right? That these four hypotheses are actually not the real problem statement that we have in picture. But during execution, what I realized is out of the 15 people that I interacted with 14 people said that the password is something that they are not able to figure out. Now, what exactly is a password? This is such a vague statement. I'm not able to figure out a password. I'm like, okay, tell me more about it. So the user is like, I used special characters, I used spacing, I used maybe alphanumeric format, but there is still, some error that comes up and I'm not able to click on the submit button or maybe I should say sign up button while I'm filling out the form. So this is a common observation that came out. So now my entire hypothesis of those five assumptions sort of flipped out. All the assumptions were wrong, but I actually got to understand the problem statement here because if 14 people out of 15 that I interacted with were facing this problem, this is exactly the culprit out here. I need to solve for this. So that's how you're going to get into the conclusion mode. Now, your conclusion is that I have figured out maybe the potential problem area that the users are facing, right? So I think it's too early for us, Rachna, to assume that we may have used passkey or something. Maybe we'll contradict that fact in the upcoming 2-3 minutes, right? So we will still not answer or will still not say that this is what's exactly happening. So now I think you got to understand the conclusion. You did the analysis, you understood that okay, this is the conclusion out here. Now if you remember the first step that we took, right, in our idipt, if you remember the idipt model, it was to empathize. Now our empathize is done. We are actually now on to the define stage. So in idipt, right, whenever you remember idipt, remember that between the E and D, which is empathize and define, there is going to be a stage of research process. This is the 7-step research process that I spoke about, right? Now, reporting is something which you have to do when, let's say, definitely there is a conclusion that you have done. I missed on this. So this is sort of optional. Like in startups, I have usually seen reporting does not happen. But let's say, you have done sort of, your work. You have done these 6 stages. So next thing what you do is you build a report, you build a thesis sort of a model, right? You put in all the headings, you build a report out of it, and you share it with the senior stakeholders. So between E and D, there is going to be a research process that kicks in. Now, many of the people will say that, okay, maybe I'll just eliminate E and I'll sort of start with the research process and then I'll go to define. You can do that, right? This is more like a framework. This is more like a structured thought process that you're going to have for yourself. So no matter what, if you're having a structured breakdown of every single thing, I think you're good to go proceed, right? So what exactly happens here is now research process actually ends at reporting. The next thing that we have to do here is define. Now, when the problem statement is something like when the problem statement was identified, the problem statement said that the analytics dashboard shows that the users are dropping at a certain stage while signing up for our services, right? Now, next thing we identified was that our were actually not users were actually not able to sign up because of some password issue. That is something we identified from our user research, right? Now, if you see when I'm defining, how do you define a problem statement? See, trust me, this is an art, right? I usually say that a successful definition of problem statement will have 5W, right? Can anyone go ahead and take a guess of what this 5W actually means here? Just take a random guess. You don't need to be correct out here. Okay, कब कहा कैसे क्यों कब कहा. So that's how you can remember it, right? So who, when, what, where, why, right? So this is basically the backbone of your problem statement. Now, in our analysis, in our 7-step research process, what we identified was that who is basically our users. Who is getting impacted? The users are getting impacted. When are they getting impacted? During their sign up process. What is getting our users impacted? Maybe the password policy that the company is having, right? Where, like, again, during sign up process, right? Now, why is it getting impacted? Again, the password policy, right? So there can be multiple angles to it, but we have to ensure that we are answering this 5 W's, right, when we are doing it. Now you might want to go and define it in a good way. For example, users, you can explicitly call it new users, because existing users won't sign up, right? They are going to use sign in, but sign up is something which your new users are going to do, right? And when, like, you can just go on minute details of it, but let's say if I have to now in our edict flow, I want to define the problem statement. Let me define it in a way that during sign up, or during the first intro of our app, maybe the new users are facing difficulty while creating password. I think, yeah, that's the right word, while creating password. And this is majorly because our company has a strict password policy, right? And then we will say that because of this, the result is that the users are not able to sign up for the services and we are losing on a potential revenue opportunity, right? So I try to answer the 5 W's out here. Is everyone able to understand how did I define the problem statement? Maybe I'll go ahead and write it for you. So now the problem statement that we have is during sign up. I said during sign up are new users. Okay, so during, I'll maybe take a second and I'll write it on my notebook and then maybe I'll write it here because it's easy to sort of replicate out here. So I think what I said was during sign up, our new users are facing difficulties while creating password, and that is majorly because of the strong password policy we have. As a result of this, our users are not able to sign up for the services. And what I said was, I think the impact of it is that we are losing onto the revenue opportunity, right? So we are going to say that we are losing on revenue opportunity. Okay, cool. So we, I'll just replicate whatever I have written on my notebook, right? So during sign up, our new users are facing difficulty. Okay, just everyone, please make sure that you are replicating whatever I'm writing here while signing up. Okay, I should say while creating password, not signing up. Maybe I should eliminate this while creating password, and this is majorly because we have a strong password policy. As a result of this, we are not able to onboard new users. This creates a significant revenue loss case, right? So if you say, yeah, so you can just modify the statement, but if you see this problem statement, there is a definition of the five W's that I spoke about, right? So these five W's, let's say if I have to highlight this. So the first thing that we did was we identified when, right? The next thing that we did was who. These are our new users. The next thing that we did was, I think we identified where exactly the problem statement is coming. So we can say while creating a new password, right? Next thing we defined was that why exactly this is happening. So maybe because we are having a strong password policy, we defined why this is happening, right? And we also defined that, why exactly what sort of impact this is going to have on our business. So this is like an additional, but I think you might have got the crux of it, right? So we actually focus on all the five W's so that we are able to understand, we are able to define a problem statement which is going to make sense for our senior stakeholders, and it sort of is an impactful problem statement. So now I just give me a thumbs up if you have written this down, if you have understood how did I move from a vague problem statement to a crystal clear defined problem statement. Just go ahead and tell me that. Just give me a thumbs up, guys. Okay, perfect, cool. So now I think we have got multiple people responding as a yes. So what I'll do is maybe I'll move to the next phase of it. Now see in edit, I'll keep on revisiting this, right? I want to get this thing stuck in your mind. We have completed our D, which is define. You have defined the problem statement. The next thing that we are going to do is ideate. If you remember, I did tell you in this lecture itself, ideate is more like, you getting into the world of fantasy, you creating as many solutions as possible, right? Now, what I have seen in industry is that usually when the definition of the problem statement is done, usually there is a forum of people, forum of designers who sit together and ideate. There can be like multiple screens that, one can design. There are different methods of, how you can design out. So I think I saw this somewhere, but I like this is not what we implemented actually, but this is something which I saw. I think I saw it around some startup implementing it up, wherein the process like they followed was they used to set a 5 minutes of timer, and this was something which they used to do in a forum. They used to turn that 5 minutes of clocker timer, they used to press that go button, and everyone in the forum, they used to have like this uh, page, like A3 size page. And okay, Komal, thank you for the appreciation. So what they used to do is they used to take an A3 size of page. In case if you don't know, A3 is mostly like a bit of a bigger page than A4, right? They used to create this into six sections, right? And they used to create six design, like everyone, right? Everyone on the forum will create six design on how this particular problem statement can be solved, right? So now if you realize that in 5 minutes, everyone is coming with six potential ideas. So now what happens here is, and these are going to be low fidelity, right? These are like low fidelity sketches. So you really do not go to the depth of, this is the padding, this is the margin, this is going to be the text, the font size, color, and everything. This is like a grayscale sketching, right? So let's say if there are three designers in the forum who are doing this methodology, 3 multiplied by 6 is 18 potential ideas that you will be having towards the end of these 5 minutes, right? And once these 18 ideas are present, what they used to do it is they are going to do a dot voting system. They are going to do a dot voting sort of a process wherein these 18 ideas are going to be placed on maybe a whiteboard. They'll just maybe stick about it. And then everyone will reflect onto the design that they have made. They will analyze and they will, sort of exchange ideas and they will do a dot voting. Now, what dot voting actually is, let's say if Vishwajit is in the forum. Let's say we have Komal in the forum. We have Advait in the forum, right? And we have Rachna. Let's say for now we have four people in the forum. I'll maybe eliminate myself, right? Let's say you three guys are into the design forum, right? The idea, like you, Komal may have a green dot. Advait might have a blue dot. So green, blue, and Rachna might have a red dot, right? Now, what everyone, like all Komal, like all these three people, Komal, Advait, and Rachna, what all three of them are going to do is they will be speaking, okay, hey, you know what, Advait, I think your design, I think out of these six designs that you made, I really liked these three designs that you actually, designed, and I think this will potentially solve. So what Rachna actually does is Rachna gives a dot voting to these three designs that she actually liked, right? Next, what Komal will do is, okay, hey, so Komal will say, hey, Advait, you know what? I actually liked this design, and maybe I liked this design and this design as well. Similarly, these three people onto the whiteboard where the ideas are placed, they will simply start voting each other designs. Now, note here is that one designer can definitely rate their designs as well. It's not a rule that you cannot dot vote your own design, because see, in those 5 minutes you are going into your fantasy world and you are going and sketching out as many ideas as possible. You are really not thinking whether it is technically feasible, whether it's design friendly, whether it is really possible to implement or not, but your goal there was to think hard and bring out as many designs as possible, right? So if you see, there is like, you can actually, after those 5 minutes you might have felt, hey, you know what rubbish sketch I made. I don't think that this maybe solution one is going to work, but what, wow, but I made a solution three which is like a really good thing. Maybe I should prioritize this one. So you as a designer, you might criticize your design or you might like it, right? So you're going to utilize this dot voting system for choosing the design out of those 18 designs that actually has the highest rating, right? Now, okay, before I go to the next session, next piece of it, give me a quick emoji or give me a quick any sort of thumbs up that I would be able to relate to, like, so that I can understand that you are actually enjoying this particular piece, that I know how the real world problem is going to get solved. Can anyone go ahead and like, not any, can anyone, I want you guys to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you are able to understand this. You can definitely go ahead and give a thumbs down if you feel that you are having a hard time learning from me, right? Okay, so I think I'm getting few. Okay, I think everyone is able to understand. So cool. Uh, so guys, what I was going to next was that you should have a question to yourself. What if in dot voting there are multiple designs which maybe have gotten five, like maybe out of 18, right? There is a possibility that out of 18, there are five designs which got similar or same voting. There can be like, okay, all of them got like six votes. What to do next, right? Can anyone take a guess in such of a situation? What are we gonna do? I want you to go ahead and just take a random guess. I think I have started getting some responses out here, but maybe I'll go ahead and tell you the answer to it. We are actually going to go for a second round of voting, right? Now, dot voting will sort of give you the outcome, right, of maybe which is the one design that will sort of come out. Now we have one interesting response which I was not expecting that you guys might come out with, but it's a good thing that someone has, I think, Advait and Rachna or Komal, I think everyone is calling out that we can go for a A/B testing or some other ways of testing, right? Which is actually true. You can go ahead and do a A/B testing and prioritize which of the designs is actually working fine for your product, right? Now, mostly people try to go through iterative cycles of dot voting, iterative cycles of A/B testing. This is not like a one-time job. You have to go through multiple cycles out here to get that one design which is going to be impactful for your product, right? Now, I have also seen that sometimes maybe if there are, let's say, five, six users that are actually loyal to the product and have been contributing significantly, right, to the way the product is shaping, it's good to kind of go ahead and tell them that, hey, you know what, if I solve this particular problem statement of yours using these two designs, which will you choose? Which one will you choose, right? And they will give you the answer, and this is sort of a way to actually engage with the users in real time basis. But I understand that maybe this is not a legit way to do it, because in a bigger setup, it is not actually recommended that you test this thing with the users. But there are always users who sign up for the beta program, or maybe some early releases, or maybe they are actually willing to contribute to the product code. So you can actually emphasize, like, focus on these users and get the job done. So good thing that some of you actually are aware of the A/B testing, right? So this is the way to come out of this problem, that whenever there are like multiple designs with same voting, you sort of come out of it and maybe finalize one design of it, right? Now, once, let's say, the ideation phase is done, the next thing that we are going to do here is, can anyone go and check this out? We are going to get into the prototyping stage, right? Now, I think I already sort of invested time in helping you learn about prototyping. Uh, just give me a minute. Okay, so Nagashri is asking a question. Just curious, how do they select a design in second round, because we already gave the same importance to all. So I think I can give this answer more from a psychological perspective, Nagashri, right? So what usually happens is, let's say if you have to choose between five candies out there in the market, right? The first thing that your brain will do is going to be choosing the best out of five, and then maybe you will just prioritize it accordingly, right? Now, next thing, let's say if the shopkeeper tells that out of these five, I'm going to take three, and maybe these two are not, I should not say three, maybe I'll take two chocolates out, and there are three chocolates or three candies out there on the floor, and you are given choice that you can only vote one, like you can only prioritize, or you can only select one design. Psychologically, your brain is going to now eliminate the noise. You will bring in maybe multiple factors, whether I like the taste of it. Maybe out of the three candies that you have in front of your eyes, there is one candy that you have already tested. There is one candy which is new in the market. There is one candy which is like very much heard of. You maybe your friends are eating it and they highly spoke about the flavor of it. So now it's going to be your own personal preference. It's going to be more of a priority that you are going to have. Okay, which is the candy that I'm going to choose? For example, if in your case, Nagashri, if your priority is to choose and taste a new flavor, you are going to pick up that one particular candy. Similarly, resonating or bringing this analogy to the design statement or the design problem statement we had, here, what we did in the first go was we prioritized it because we had 18 options. We were like, okay, I have to somehow do the voting, right? Next time, when you have only five designs in place and your goal is to choose one specific design which is going to solve the user's problem, you are going to be hard on yourself. You're going to be thinking very much critically. Maybe the first round we had, there were less of a justification of every single activity that you did. Second round, maybe you will go deeper into the justification. I chose this design because the sign up button is here, it's user friendly, it applies to the fit, like the fits law applies here. Maybe the button is sort of good, the text is sort of good. So you're going to get into that direction of thinking. You're going to be hard on yourself, and that's how you're going to minimize everything. It's not necessary that if the first design gave us five outcomes, like the first round gave us five outcomes, it's not necessary that the second round will give us five outcomes. It is going to get reduced significantly. Maybe you will end up from five to three, then three to two, and two to one. I'm not saying that from five to you will directly jump on one, right? There can be a possibility, but the options will reduce one step at a time, and you will, at the end of this repetitive iterative cycle, you will have that one design which actually stood up, or which actually will solve or help the end user. Was I able to give you some good clarity out here, Nagashri? Just react with the emoji so that I can understand what sort of understanding you have captured for the question. So, Rachna is asking a question that is it possible that our users' taste and our tastes will conflict? The answer is to eliminate that thing, the users' test and everything. There is a possibility, definitely there is a possibility, right? If you remember, we did empathize with our end user. Now, if let's say, like just a hypothetical situation, right? Let's say our users did tell us that the form is the form is not intuitive enough or maybe something like that, then I think the focus would have been towards the intuitiveness of the form. But in our case, the problem is that the sign up or the password policy is sort of a conflict. So in our case, if you think critically, there is no possibility that the user taste and our taste is going to differ, right? This could differ if it is more of a visual thing, but in our case, I think it's more like a back-end thing. That's what we have sort of assumed or come to a conclusion till now. So in our case, the answer is there is no way that the user's choice is going to get conflicted. And let's say if in due to any XYZ reason the conflict arises, you will actually get the answer in your testing. The T is yet to come. We are still in the prototyping phase. I hope I was able to answer your question, Rachna. Right? Just give a thumbs up. Till then, I'll move ahead with the next uh, topic here, which is prototyping. So I think I have already spoken about the prototyping thing, which is you go and sort of do a low fidelity model and a high fidelity model. So first thing that you're going to do after your dot voting sessions are completed, you're going to build a low fidelity model, low fidelity design. This low fidelity design you're going to do a testing around with. You will go and do a quick check with the engineers, internal team, beta users, and everyone, right? If let's say you get a thumbs up, you're going to build a high fidelity model. And let's say once the high fidelity model is built, you deploy it to production. So I hope I was able to give you the understanding of the cycle. Now, just take a pause and summarize every single thing that you have learned till now. So, design thinking is more like a framework. Design thinking is more like an approach, a process that you're going to follow, right? Now, whenever hiring manager is asking you a question of, what your design process is, they are not willing to understand what sort of bookish definition you have memorized, but they want to understand what sort of a journey you go through. So, what I have done here is I have introduced you to EDIPT. In EDIPT, between E and D, we have introduced research process. What does the research process do? That this research process helps us to define the problem statement. And after definition, we ideate, we prototype, we do the testing. In testing, if we are able to get everything good, we go to prototype, we build a final high fidelity model, and we push everything to production. This is the summary of the last maybe 1 hour and 20 minutes that we spent together. Is everyone able to understand this? Just give a quick thumbs up, show your understanding, show your takeaway from this session through emojis so that I can understand. One thing that I'm observing here during these sessions is that in between there are some concurrent users and then initially it drops and then it spikes up during the last 15 minutes. I think there is someone in this group who tells that, okay, the session is about to end. We need to come and sort of give our attendance out here. So right. Amazing. I think it's a good thing, Nagashri. So I hope that you remember this more like a story. You remember this more like a journey. And that's how we are going to remember this design thinking or design process as a model, right? Now, one thing that I want to focus here is that maybe I'll speak about it in the next 2, 3 minutes. Now, if you see here is what is a double diamond framework, right? Everything that we learned, everything that we spoke about in the last 1 hour 20 minutes, there are multiple frameworks in market that you can follow. I have seen many beginners, they actually get confused. Ki, Should I follow double diamond? Should I follow any XYZ design framework? The answer is no, because every framework that you read through, it actually falls back to the edict that I spoke about. Now we have the problem statement in place. What I'll do is I'll tell you where exactly this double diamond is sort of getting reflected into the edict that we follow, right? So double diamond, mostly people get confused that the diagram is pretty complicated. It's sort of a technical way to execute. But the answer is it's like just two squares or, four, like one, two, three, four, four, eight lines, which are sort of connecting in a triangular sort of a model, which sort of makes it look complex, but it is very, very easy, right? Now, if you see in our edict process that we followed, we had a problem statement in the initial, maybe when we started getting the problem statement, we identified the problem statement, we had a challenge to solve. Towards the end of completing our research process, when we did everything and we came out with testing, right? We actually got the outcome. So it started with D and it ended with T, which is getting into the testing mode, right? Now, we actually are experiencing this edict in double diamond framework. How? So, if you see, there is a phase wherein the discovery is happening, right? What is discover? And these two lines, right? The double diamond has these two lines, which is sort of first it expands, then it contracts, then it expands, then it contracts. This expansion is this two lines, right? There is a reason that the discover is into the expansion mode. The reason that discover is into the expansion mode is that when you're discovering, you really do not want to constrain yourself. You really don't want to get into a bubble that this is what I'm going to do. This is exactly what we did when we were building our hypothesis. We do not care about what is going to be the right thing. What we did was we wrote multiple hypotheses and we will figure out later whether this hypothesis is going to work or not. So this is what exactly the discover phase speaks about. After, let's say, the hypothesis was done, we framed a strategy to sort of, execute this hypothesis. We eliminated it. We started striking off the hypothesis based on the outcomes, based on what we had our interaction with, like maybe with the users or maybe with the technical debugging session. If you remember, we started striking it off. That's exactly where we get into the defining mode. We started getting into the mode wherein we are trying to converge the hypothesis. We are going towards that one problem statement, which is sort of giving us the which is sort of will give us the direction of the product that we are going to shape into. Now, what I want to emphasize here is this D was defined when our hypothesis was tested. We did data analysis, we did some interpretation, and toward the seventh stage, we did reporting as well. So this define was this define was sort of introduced when our discover was completed, when our hypothesis was completed. Now we actually, in reporting, we came and defined one single problem statement, which was actually the culprit of the entire equation of the challenge. So our define gave us the problem statement. Next thing what we did was we ideated. Now, when we ideated, remember what I told you. We were not going into the limitation of what will work or what will not. We actually went into the model wherein we built 18 designs. We actually went ahead and expanded our horizon of thoughts. We expanded the possibilities of the outcome. And that's where we went into the expansion mode when we were developing the things out. But if you remember, what happened after ideation was we actually did a dot voting system to build our final one design, which is going to be really impactful. And we built a prototype of it. And then we went into testing and we went into production. That's exactly what the deliver means here, which is going to be prototyping, testing, and then pushing it to the production. And we have certain outcome associated with it. So I hope you are now able to understand how every single framework that you read online, Google, you read on NN Group, you read on any particular platform, Adept is the backbone of it. The example, the framework that I actually spoke about today is going to help you remember an answer every single time someone throws a problem statement at you. Are you happy with the deliverables of today's session? Just give me a quick thumbs up, guys. Just react with the emoji. Just show me that you know how much you liked today's session with your emojis, with your comments. Quickly give me those outcomes. There is an amazing announcement I have coming up in the next 1 minute for you. Okay, so Nagashri gave me a 1 star rating out of 5. Nagashri, was it that bad? Amazing. So I think we have multiple people stating a quick emoji reactions. I need to learn YouTube emojis, I feel. Like this is a new thing. I'm good at, I'm like sometimes bad at emojis. Okay, so Nagashi is like, no, no, this is okay. Okay, I think I'll just take it this way. Out of 5, let's say if today's session was maybe out of 5, what sort of thing that you feel you grabbed a value out of? Like out of 5, what is the rating that you will give it today's session? Right. Cool. I think I'm getting a lot of comments out here. It's okay. So I think I'm getting a 5 on 5. Thank you, everyone. I hope to deliver the same thing. Today I'm actually not in a good health, but I hope I was able to give the best possible outcome here. But I'll try to make it better and better every single time. Just keep these comments flowing through, right? So now coming to the most exciting part, and I was waiting for this to get announced. So we have Zoom podcasts coming in. I do not have the bandwidth to sort of meet people in person for now, but we have virtual podcasts coming up on our channel. And I already have started engaging with some fellow designers out there. And they like sometimes it's tricky because they really cannot speak about a lot of practical products that they work around. But there are ways to tackle around it and come back with some real valuable insights. So what we are going to do is we are going to have multiple virtual sessions coming up on our channel. The frequency might not be super high because our channel is still growing. We still just have like 1200 plus subscribers. This like if you want more sessions, more like more good people joining on this channel and sharing their valuable insights, I think you guys are gonna play a very important role. Just help me spread a word about design school. Help me introduce design school to fellow designers, maybe your sister, brother, family members. Maybe one subscribe for from each of these people sort of comes in a quantitative way. And whenever I have to pitch the channel to any fellow designer on inviting them, hey, you know what, please come on my channel, speak about some real good work that you have done so that people can learn from it. They actually see first the subscribers, the engagement rate, and then they come around, right? So I want you to do two things, right? First is help me increase the likes. This is more like engagement, right? Engagement. Help me gain more comments and help me spread a word, right? whenever people come, they will check my likes and comments, and they will say, "Ki, okay, what people are actually speaking about the channel," and then they will say, or they'll make a decision whether they want to join the community here, they want to come as a guest or not, right? So tomorrow, I'm going to speak with one of the fellow designers. She is actually based out of Germany, right? She is a German by native, but I think we have, like the reason that I'm taking someone from like out of someone out of India is because uh, I want to give you an international perspective. I want to give you the sort of horizon of what is there standing out in international market. So because if you remember, I last time, I think in lecture number 2, I did show you how much people are going to pay you if you are a good designer. So I want to and she is a product designer. I'm not revealing the name immediately. She is a product designer. She has worked with Shopee. She is based out of Germany, right? And you trust me on this, you're going to have really powerful industry insights from her, like German market, right? How people actually treat product design, UI, UX design. I think anyone here who is coming from a visual designer background, you are going to love this. Also, I know that there are many engineers here. There are many, maybe I should say dentist, I should say non-technical field, right? Maybe I should say non-technical field. There are a lot of people who are from the non-technical field who are willing to get into UI UX. I'm trying to bring these people on the channel, speak with them about their journey, about their careers, and then help you gain some valuable insights out there. So I'm going to meet the person tomorrow, and once, let's say, the editing is done, I'll anyways in the next live session, I'll try to make it before the next live session, but depends upon my bandwidth as well. But I'll try to take it live. Sorry, not live. I mean, I'll try to post it on the channel as soon as possible. So to answer your question, Komal, it's not going to be live because uh, this is like the first time I'm doing such activities. So I really do not want to get into a place wherein I ask something confidential and the guest feels bad about it, or maybe is not able to answer. So I feel that it's better for me to do it, like get used to it first, and then maybe we'll go for it, right? So please, guys, I think you guys have a very strong role to play. Please go ahead and do these two things. Also, because I'm seeing a lot of fluctuation into the users in the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes, your homework is going to be acting as a decision making factor on whether you're going to make it to the top 10, top 5 people that I'm curating a list of. If you're not doing your homework, if you're not posting about it on the channel, this gives me a strong sign that you're just here for your attendance and not a learning experience. I really want to build a community of serious learners. So it's okay. Like I feel that it's okay to be harsh sometimes, that I'm not going to give you free attendance, but once you start doing homework, I feel that's going to be more fruitful for you as well, right? I hope I was able to deliver my best here. We'll take a leave, guys. Please make sure that you do the activity that I spoke about. Uh, Going back, like if any one of you is willing to invest time in design thinking, learning more about it, I'll put some more articles about design thinking in the channel. You can read through it and learn about it in the coming time. In the meantime, keep learning, keep designing. I'll see you in the next video, live coming soon. Make sure that, okay, is it design school team mark my attendance? Yeah, it is done. Is it possible to post on LinkedIn so that we can report it? I think, Rachna, what you mean here is you want to repost it. So yeah, you can put design school, you can tag design school, you can speak about your learnings on LinkedIn. This is what you actually have learned. You can do it. And once you tag design school, you will also, we'll also get a notification that this is done. And then yeah, like it's a good experience for everyone, right? So cool guys, I'll take a sign off for now. Have a good time, have a good weekend. It's a Friday night. If you haven't watched Stranger Things season 5, please make sure that you do it. It's a really amazing episode. Episode 4 is like a brain killer. Go ahead and go for it. Spend the rest of the week learning good things. I'll see you in the next video. Komal, I'll answer that in a group, in our learnings group, right? So keep learning, keep designing. I'll see you in the next video.